Listen, I told you guys originally when Meek Mill violated his probation, I said I'm gonna just kind of stay clear of this situation until the facts come out. I'm not gonna go hard for Meek saying he should be out. I'm not gonna go hard on the other direction saying he shouldn't be out. I just want to hear the facts come out. But now I gotta report this story. Ain't nobody talking about this one. They should be. More outlets should be talking about this because this is huge. Yo, the cop in the Meek Mill case has recently been deemed a bad cop. Like, he's been outed in Philadelphia. The cop that arrested Meek Mill, and I'm not talking about when he violated his probation. Yo, let's take it back to when Meek Mill was 18, I believe. When he got arrested, and it was a multitude of charges I'm not going to get into right now, that deemed him his 10-year probation stint, right? So he's on probation for like 10 years from that. And this is kind of what's getting him the violations to begin with, right? So every time he does something, I guess technically that's a violation right now, he's dealing with the fact that he's still on probation for something that happened almost a decade ago. And it did happen a decade ago, actually, something that he's almost been on probation for 10 years ago. So this all does matter. Yo, that cop's name is Reginald Graham, and Philly need to come out and talk about this more, because I've been somebody who's been tough on Meek Mill's attorney, Joe Tacopina, because I don't like how he's been coming at that black Philly judge. She's still a black woman and I gotta support until told otherwise. But at the same time, I gotta side with Joe on this one. That cop that arrested Meek Mill has been deemed a bad, dirty cop. I've been reading some details on the case. He was involved in all type of dirty shit. And let me put the cap on this situation. That cop, whose name is Reginald Graham, he retired, ladies and gentlemen, before all the findings and the proceeds, all that was done. He said, I'm not gonna let y'all throw my name and throw salt on my name. I'm gonna just retire early, right? So this cop who's now retired was dirty. And I'm not saying it was a bad arrest with Meek Mill. I'm just saying, yo, Philadelphia look pretty damn corrupt right now, their legal system. And the cop that arrested Meek Mill has been deemed a bad cop, a bad, dirty cop. And it looks like there's a long list of stuff that he was doing that wasn't right. And that stopped that originally his arrest on Meek Mill. And Meek Mill, there's pictures of Meek Mill. He said he was beaten like crazy. And Meek is somebody who has come out and say, yo, I'm not saying I was innocent at the time. Meek was saying I might have did something, but the arrest and some of the things that cops said I did to get me 10 years probation, ridiculous. And we gotta side with Meek on this one. If the cop is dirty, if we seeing people in the courtroom with the clerk asking Meek for money, if the judge is telling Meek that he needs to possibly go be managed by a local firm or whatever, and that's up in the air, by a local guy, right? And that's up in the air because we never seen any evidence of the judge saying that. But I'm just saying, all these stories keep coming out about this Philadelphia's legal system. That's all bad. It all seems like a corrupt system. And by the way, let me take this a step further with Philadelphia. Yo, it's one thing for Meek Mill. Meek Mill will get out one day. Meek Mill, he's a rich man, right? And I'm not trying to count his money. Meek's a rich man. He'll tell you that. What about all these other African Americans potentially have been wronged by the police in that system? What about them? Some of them kids doing life. Some of them dead because of spots they've been put in because of that legal system. This guy, Reginald Graham, is a part of 30 cops that have all been deemed through investigation bad, dirty, whatever you want to call it. And Meek Mill's story is the biggest profile one. It's a high profile story, but it's probably not nowhere close to the last or the first, right? So just telling y'all an update. Meek Mill's cop, the cop that arrested him over a decade ago when he was 18 years old, right? So Meek's like 30, 31 right now. The cop that arrested him, we found out through investigation that he was dirty. I'm not telling y'all something I think, I'm telling y'all something I know, and I did my research on this. He was dirty. Reginald Graham, dirty. And before we could even get through his case and everything, he retired because the SOB didn't want to deal with what he had done. And now, fast forward over a decade later, Meek Mill, I'm not saying Meek didn't violate his probation, but the point of it is he shouldn't be on probation for over a decade or 10 years in the first place. I'm just throwing it out there. Again, Meek, somebody who said he wasn't clean. He said he wasn't an innocent kid. He was young and dumb. He'll tell you himself. But to be on probation for 10 years, hell, you probably should just gave him a couple years sentence. You know what I mean? Thank God for the time, love, support. And I'm not saying anybody would take jail over probation. I'm just saying, yo, this is like, it feels like a little extra sentence. If you're going to make Meek have to always be at fault for video shoots and violent, you know what I mean? It feels like a sentence. Y'all talk to me in the comment box below. I love my platform, and I love what my platform allows me the opportunity to discuss, man. I'm out.
I want to salute you, homie, you know, for building your own thing and doing your own thing, creating your own platform, your own website.
I got one life to live out my dreams, and I'm giving this thing all I got. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I represent the culture.
Right now you're turning up on MrTaliaferro.com, shawty. Yeah.